Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Temitope Olodo, and you are hanging out with us on Security Conversation. I have with me my brother who is going to introduce himself and tell us all about himself. While we wait for you all to come and join us live here on Facebook. So if you are watching us right now, tell your friends, share it with your friends, share with your neighbors, even your in-laws, the ones you hate and the ones you don't hate. Share it with them and tell them that Temitope Olodo is here with a seasoned security analyst and expert, my beloved brother. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Don. Please tell our viewers more about yourself. Go ahead, sir.
Well, thank you, Temitope. My name is Don Okereke. I am a security analyst, a consultant, a writer, and a subject matter expert as far as security issues are concerned in Nigeria. I've been writing and blogging for a while. I have my personal blog, www.donokereke.blogspot.com. That is where I share my thoughts, my ideas, and all of that. I like to add value to humanity. I like to contribute to development, information, and security awareness. That is what drives me.
And we've been on this journey for quite some time, and we've been following the Nigerian security situation. It's quite um, interesting that today the president have decided to extend the tenure of the Inspector General of Police for another 3 months. And they're giving their reasons, but we've all been talking about the fact that his position was going to expire um, about 6 months ago. So, from your view, from your understanding of how this thing works, what do you think is really happening, and why is it that the president could not have proactively made sure that this succession plan, the same thing that happened with the chief of army staff and the others, that a succession plan is in place to make sure that these guys, are able to live and for other people to join them. From your view, what do you think is really happening with Nigerian security infrastructure?
Well, I am not the only one that is not happy with events, with goings on in Nigeria as far as insecurity is concerned. And like you mentioned, the tenure elongation given to the police IG. I mean, for goodness sake, I don't think that should be, because I understand it's also, I'm not a lawyer, but I understand it negates the police act, which the president recently signed into law. Inter alia, the police act or law states that a serving police officer must retire at the age of 60 or after 35 years in service. And having clocked 35 years in service, I think, with all due respect, the IG of police should step aside. I think he was supposed to go either on Friday or on Monday, but he was seen wearing his uniform. And all of a sudden today, we heard or we read that his tenure has been extended by 3 months. And the excuses they gave, I don't think they are valid, for goodness sake, because prior to now, they know that this guy is going to retire. So why making it look like it's something that they didn't foresee? I don't think that alibi holds water as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you so much, Mr. Because I think you've hit on running, and thank you so much for joining us, Professor Ali Alao. You
Right.
heard what Mr. Don has just been saying that he couldn't understand, and I think we're all joining him. No, to we couldn't understand that the, the issue of the what you call the Inspector General of Police, position being vacant, has been discussed on many forums for the past 6 months. Here we are, we're in a situation where, they have to extend his his position. What is your view, Professor Alialo, on this matter?
Good evening, our host, Comrade Temitope Olodo, and the gentleman, my co-guest, I guess, Mr. Don. Well, I would like to say to our viewers, a lot of stuff is happening in Nigeria, which we are all privy to. But what we're not privy to is those intel, the security intelligence, and the harsh reality that I believe the president and his cabinet will be privy to, and the security apparatus in Nigeria will be privy to, which cannot be shared with a common man. Now, having said this, extending the tenure of the service chief by 90 days, which is 3 months, shouldn't be something that we need to really kind of like blowing out of proportion. At the end of the day, what I believe it really matters is the security and the integrity of Federal Republic of Nigeria. And again, I mean, this is a position of the president with his own discretion. He can say, okay, well, I still need you for this and that reason, which is not really privy to us as an outsider. So I believe the most important thing, which I believe is really should be paramount in our view, is the security of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not who is and when and how long someone has been there. I hope that answers your question, moderator.
Yes, it does. And before I bring in our brother on board, I just want to ask you. The president again made a very surprising nomination today, which he has transmitted to the House of Assembly. I mean to the chamber, to the legislative chamber, which is two of those ex-military officials have now been invited to become members of the diplomatic corps, representing Nigeria. So what is your view on that particular nomination that is made so soon after they just been relieved of their position?
Is that to me or to Mr. Don?
It's to you quickly, and then I bring Mr. Don on board.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. I mean, we had, I guess, Major General Buratai and one of the other service chief has been nominated, to be presented by the House of Representatives for the approval as to ambassadorial position to serve the capacity of ambassador of Nigeria to, I mean, maybe now we're not really privy to that, to which country. Some has been saying, I see nothing really new in this, not only being a career military personnel or common man. This is not a career diplomatic position. This is just, I mean, I believe with the president's discretion, he has his reason for giving them this. But something has been flying around since the announcement of this new position to the just ex-service chief, that is to buy them what you call it, to buy them what they call immunity.
Immunity.
Yeah. Why do they need immunity? Have they been called by the Human Rights Commission or Hague or which body? Which crime have they committed that they need immunity blanket to move around? So I believe, I mean, at this point in time in Nigeria, we should all rise above all these. Every move must be given some coloration because of this. We don't have did we have the mind of the government from Mr. President and his cabinet? Every little step, we must have our own interpretation, and we blow it out of proportion. So if we truly, sincerely patriotic to the country, Nigeria, we should at least slow down a little bit and look at the big picture. What we really want to achieve by every little time this thing happen, we give it a coloration is because of this or that. At the end of the day, be Buratai or whoever, any of the service chief are Nigerians. And they have the right to become, they are not taking someone from outside Nigeria to go and represent Nigeria. So I see no reason why that should be something we need to be making noise about.
Okay, let me bring in my brother here. You just heard what Prof had to say about the ongoing situation. I know you've given us your own analysis with regard to the IG, but with regard to the service chief who are just just more or less say they just step down from one position that they've served their nation, and within 2 weeks they are now saying that they are interested in serving our nation at an overseas posting. What is your view? Do you think there is a cynical position to it? That is it because they want to give them immunity, or is it because the president just has so much faith in them that they could do more work for him from an overseas posting? What do you think? Go ahead, Mr. Don. I'm speaking to you. Okay. Prof, let me go back to you. I think Mr. having some difficulty with his system. Okay, Prof,
Yes.
for what is happening, you understand, we've seen a lot of movement, particularly from a security perspective, that is really happening. You know as well as I do that when you are stopped by a policeman here in the United Kingdom, the person must have the authority to be able to stop you and put you under caution. Do you think that with somebody already challenging the position of the president on this matter in the law court, do you think the president is doing that position of the presidency any favors? Why I'm saying that, I'm not challenging the position of the president, but I'm only asking that if the person that taking the president to court wins that position, that the president had no right to elongate or extend the service of the IG. Don't you think it puts the office of that presidency at stake? And how will other countries around the world, you've lived abroad, you lived in very many countries around the world, why is it, and I'm not leaving it at Mr. President's desk, but all Nigerian presidents, why is it so difficult for them that immediately after getting into position, they can announce whoever is going to hold position within 24 hours? Why is that so difficult?
Yes.
And why is it so difficult for them to remove people? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you very much. We need to look at the unique case by case, country by country, and the reality on the ground of every single independence nation of the world. Nigeria's problems need Nigerian solutions. This is one thing we need to bear in mind. When we started comparing and contrasting Nigeria to America, to Canada, to US, to Australia, different mindset, different set of people. We are different, we are unique people. They say, okay, don't you see what at the same time Nigeria got its independence, look at Malaysia, look at Singapore, look at even India. Are we the same people, excuse me? We are not the same people. So Nigerian problem need Nigerian approach. And we don't need external approach. We might use them as a case studies, maybe something we can deduce from what really works there. But that doesn't mean this is absolute that the moment you lay that very template, it's going to just like a switch on or switch off. It doesn't work that way. So as I earlier said, Nigerian issues require Nigerian solutions. And we don't need, we can borrow this idea from outside, but at the end of the day, we still need to look inwardly to look for a holistic solution. By so doing, And also, I would like to say to us, we need to sincerely ask ourselves, are we truly sincere? Are we truly patriotic? As you've been saying, okay, all those advanced countries, developing countries, okay, even the one we are sitting on at the moment, UK. Have you ever seen a citizen of this country saying, I mean, presenting his country in a negative light? No way. Even in that very same Africa, in West Africa, it's only Nigerians, some I would say, they're unpatriotic. So, I mean, it's a harsh question we need to ask ourselves. We met people, you and I were here in diaspora UK. Have you ever seen a Togolese coming to you and bashing his country and trying to just nothing really work in his country? Or one from Benin Republic, or one from Gambia, for all these countries. You never see them. They're so proud of where they came from. But it's only Nigerian of today, of this generation, that they don't see any good thing in that very piece of nation. And I can tell you one thing, we don't have any other Nigerian. We don't have any other Nigeria than the one we're having at the moment. So I believe it's a point on me and you, on any sincere Nigerian, to make it work. Not by Mr.
Thank
President,
you so much.
Whoever I might be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Professor Ali Alao. And please, Mr. Don, please unmute yourself. I think you're muted, and I'm going to come back to you now to come and give us your view on one or two issues. But if you're watching us right now, please like this page, share this page, and tell us, tell your friends that we are live right now, and drop us a message. Let us know where you are watching us from right now, because we really appreciate you. And if you have a question for my speakers, please let them know. So you've heard what Prof has to say, with regard to all the security situation, beveling our nation. What is your view about the fact that this service chief, ex-service chief, if I could call them so, just recently said, oh, we've served our nation, we've done our bit, Mr. President, relieve us. And the president said, oh, because they came to me, I relieved them of their position. So suddenly, 2 weeks into their holiday, their retirement, they are coming back again to say, you know what, I'm going to represent Nigeria abroad. What is your view on that? Or do you think, just like other people have said, that this has been a ploy to keep them away from prosecution, the drum of prosecution, immunity, which seems to be louder and louder? Yeah, immunity.
Well, let me go back to what I heard Prof say about the tenure of the police IG that was elongated, or extended rather. Yes. You see, in this life, nobody is important, right? When I was in the military, there is this slogan that soldier come, soldier go, and barrack remains. Eh?
Yes.
Are they telling us that God forbid, God forbid, I'm not wishing anybody bad, right? But are they telling us that if police IG or whoever drops down today, there won't be someone else that can replace him? There won't be a competent person out of 180 million Nigerians that can serve as the substantive IG of police? I mean, it doesn't hold water. Let's not be doing all of these defending everything that the government says and all of that. I don't do that. I don't do cult following, right? When the government does something good, we praise them. When they do something wrong, we criticize them. It doesn't make us not to be patriotic. I served this country, right, in the military, and I gave my life. I sacrificed my days, my time, my years. So I should be able to say when things are going wrong, I say, no, this thing is not being done right. Let us correct it. Let's do it right. Let's get it right. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make me to be less patriotic than somebody that sings songs and praises the government. Everything that the government does, somebody praises the government. I mean, we can't get anywhere with that kind of attitude. Having said that, let me come back to the issue of service chiefs, who we understand have now been nominated as ambassadors, right? It still goes back to what we are saying. Speculation is rife, like you rightly mentioned. Speculation is rife that they are being propped up for that position that is. Because even the International Criminal Court does not confer immunity to ambassadors per se. I mean, in this case now, right? I don't think it gives them that kind of immunity that people are speculating about. So these guys deserve some rest. Having served your country for 40 years, some of them stayed in the military for 40 years. For goodness sake, they need some rest. Right? There are other Nigerians, there are other competent Nigerians, I don't care where they come from, that can play that same role. Maybe ambassadors. Having served your country for that can be nominated as ambassadors. When you add 1 and 1, you get 2. When you add 2 and 2, you get 4, isn't it? So we can make deductions. We can make deductions. It's allowed. We can make deductions. So when people are trying to make deductions, it's based on events. It's based on occurrences in the society. When somebody has served his country for 40 years and all of a sudden from nowhere, you nominate him as ambassador, people are bound to analyze it. Whichever way they analyze it, you know, they can be wrong, they can be right. But it's bound to invite criticism or analysis or even support. Some people will support it and hail it. It's possible they are benefiting from the system. They have vested interests, right? They can support it. If I'm benefiting from the system, there's a tendency I will support such things. Or maybe my candidate is being given an appointment. You know how it is in Nigeria. They have retinue of friends and all of that. You know, so it is possible people will continue to sing praises and all of that. But let's look at it. Let's be objective in this thing. It doesn't make somebody less. It doesn't make you less patriotic, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before you go, because you did touch on your military experience, and it's important that our viewers know at least you've been in the scene, you've been in the thick of it, you understand what it means, you know. And before I bring Prof back, I wanted to ask you, the president, you know, initially once said that there will be nobody in the IDP camp. That one is gone and dusted. They are still live and direct in the camp, you know, for many years now. Many people, some children are born in the camp and they are about to go into secondary school now. That's if they don't even get married, you know, knowing that the age of marriage in some part of the north could be as lower as 14. So let's not even go there. So now, the president again at the beginning of this year said that the issue of Boko Haram, ISWAP will be eradicated within 1 year. From your experience in the military, from your reading in the military, from your research in this field of organizing of countries that have been in terrorism and have got out of it, do we have the capacity, the resource, to deliver what Mr. President is saying in 1 year? I've never heard of anywhere where terrorism have been resolved in, you know, even in 2-3 years. So Mr. President said 1 year. There will not even be name of Boko Haram mentioned again in 1 year, because that's what he meant, that there will be no Boko Haram in 1 year. So what is your view on that?
Well, I agree with you. There are no quick fixes when it comes to insurgency or terrorism. We know that organizations like the Tamil Tigers, they've been there for decades and all of that, right? But when a retired general tells you that he will do this and that in a year, I think in Chatham House, sometime in 2015 or so, prior to the elections, he was in Chatham House where he said that he will lead from the front, that Boko Haram will be defeated in 6 months or in a year or something like that. And they have been rehearsing such things. They say tomorrow is technically defeated, tomorrow is the, you know, all sorts of adjective. And from what we have seen on ground, these guys are pretty much around and still kicking, even though fine, they may not be occupying territories and all of that, but no day or no 2 days passes without you hearing that they've attacked military facilities, not just soft targets, but hard targets. I empathize with the leadership of the country, but I think they shot themselves on the foot because nobody they are the ones that made a promise that they will do this, and if they don't do it, we are going to hold them by their words. Rightly saying, I mean, it's not easy. It's not a relay race. Defeating insurgency or terrorism is not a dash. It's a sprint. It's an ongoing thing. But then again, it's from their promises that we are judging them, that we are assessing them.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't think anybody should be misconstrued. If somebody says, okay, you promised in 2015 that in 6 months or in a year, you're going to defeat Boko Haram. And 5 years or going to 6 years into your administration, the guys are still hitting soft and hard targets. I think that's my view about that.
Thank you. Prof, let me bring you in. There are so many issues that are happening left, right, and center. So I know you're a man that is on top of all matters. As they say, in Nigeria, we're on top of it. So I believe you're on top of the matter. So let me ask you about the Edo incident. We know that women in Edo went on the major highway, to complain about, the activities of armed herdsmen. They didn't say Fulani. Armed herdsmen who are raping them in the farmyards, who are killing their children. What is your view about this? And do you think the government is proactive enough, to address this issue? Because we noticed what happened in Oyo State, where, Sunday Igboho gave a 7-day ultimatum. Nothing happened. Nobody actually talked to him. Nobody spoke to him. Nobody spoke to both parties until he went there to go and start asking or evicting the people in that place before government started moving. Why is it always difficult for government to just move on certain issues? And if they can't even move, use people, use the community to even push the agenda. What is your view on this?
We are such in a time that Nigeria is at crossroad. I believe you and I, we are privy to the intel. I guess it must have been from those previous service chief, I will call them now, or for NSA, when they're saying this intel came about 2 months ago, that they say there are some forces that are trying to overrun the system in Nigeria, that they are watching. Why this? Every now and again, we don't need to hold our tongue. We just need to speak straight, and we don't need to speak with two sides of our mouth either. The thing here is this. One thing I keep asking our people, before now, we were hearing Fulani herdsmen is the boss word today. Fulani herdsmen, Fulani bandit, Fulani kidnapper. One thing I just want us to, for a moment, the government, we start from from local, or should we start from the federal government? They were not doing enough. It's true. Everywhere you look, there's insecurity. But what are we doing as a people? What are we doing as a people? Should we, due to inactive or due to not being pragmatic from the side of the government, they allow this thing to proliferate for just a commoner to stand and try to play the role of not even vigilante, of police? So where did we stop? Or where did we put end to this? Assuming now we've seen, I mean, it's on social media everywhere, whereby they are causing arson and so on and so forth. The question I would like to ask, is it the people that have been living communally for almost over 100 years? Now you are telling them to go. We have criminals in every quarters of that part of the country. But everything that happened today is about, it has to be, it's either Fulani herdsmen. If even the chicken fell into the well, it must be Fulani herdsmen. Is the cause. My fear, my worry is this. We have every Nigerian is all part of Nigeria. If we start with Fulani, if they are seen on the social media as everything is there for all to see, and they're feeling unsafe, even the one that doesn't even know, that doesn't even have a chance to have a television or internet to see what is really going on. They set their heart in fire and asked them to go. And the news reached their own people in their own community, in their where they originally came from. Where does that end? So I believe we need to slow down a little bit and let the cool air reign. This kind of rumble in the jungle or banana republic kind of ways of doing things is not going to serve anyone's interest at the end of the day. So I believe we need to slow down on the side of government, from the local to the state and the federal government. I guess they are trying, but their trying is not good enough. More resources need to be put. And as I do say, we need human intel. Bandit doesn't just operate on their own. If you don't have the architecture of a place, you don't just get there and know where to move from A to B or B to C. So in a way, I believe it's a comment on not just the government, all the stakeholders, both government and the common and the public. We need to work hands in hands and put end to this very cancer that is eating Nigerians inside out today. So that's my take. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Don, let me bring you in here because I know you're a risk analyst and this is one of your field. Are you concerned, just like Prof, that we know when we see some of those videos that some of them are just somebody playing pranks and just adding color to it? You know, we've not heard of 15 Fulanis killed or 25 Igbos killed or 12 Yorubas killed. There is no, a lot of people killed as a result of people being driven out. But we know that there's a potential explosion that could happen if, just like somebody in the north said, we're asking our people to come back, but there might be a reprisal. We might ask people to come back. In this incident, having been a military person, in a hot situation, bullet can go off at any time. So what is your risk analysis? And if you are advising the president right now, what will you be saying to them right now about how to manage this risk issue? Because there are over 200 ethnic groups. Fulani group is just one. No other group is being accused of this atrocity apart from those herdsmen. And many have said, including yourself, that this guy seems to be foreigners. Why is that government have not even instructed the immigration service to go after the foreign herdsmen and expel them from Nigeria? What is your view on this?
Tomitope, I tell you something, right? I was born in the north, right? I was born in Adamawa State, yeah. Jimeta to be precise. Huh? I have lots of Fulani friends till tomorrow. I have lots of Hausa. I was also trained. My military training was at Kaduna. I did my NYSC at Sokoto, Ilela. We used to enter Niger Republic and come back from Ilela, right? So
yep, that's a place I know very well.
Yeah, I know the nooks and cranny of this country. And I'm also proud to have many people from outside my tribe as my friends. During the Metasina riot in Jimeta, sometime in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. I think it was a Muslim family or so that helped my parents then, secured us and made sure that nothing happened to us. What Boko Haram is doing now, or Shekau is doing now, is similar to what Musa Mekaniki did sometime in the 80s in the name of Metasina. We've had Muslims, we've had Fulani people that safeguarded Igbos or Yorubas and all of that, right? So there are good people, there are bad people everywhere. There are bad Igbo people, there are good Igbo people, right? So let us be careful in stereotyping people. But at the same time, there's a proverb in my place, I'm just trying to translate it. When a winch cries in the night and a child dies in the morning.
Yes.
Yes. When a winch cries in the night and a child
translate it.
No, it's okay. Let me attempt an English translation. When a winch cries in the night and a child dies in the morning, right? Definitely something went wrong. Huh? So let us tell ourselves the truth. There are criminal elements amongst these people. It doesn't mean every Fulani guy out there is bad. Like I told you, I have lots of them as friends. I speak a little bit of Fulani, like Jam, Bandu, Waramudilla, Waramudilla, Jam, Jankpan, little Fulani like that. I have some of them but there are criminal elements amongst them that are perpetrating these acts, kidnappings and all of that. And this is primarily because our borders are porous. Like I told you earlier, from Ilela, you will enter Niger Republic. I don't know how they do their border control or whatever there. But in those days, we used to use bike. You can even walk. And likewise, from Borno, you can enter Cameroon. From Adamawa State, Mubi, you can enter Cameroon. So we have porous borders. I think in Oyo State, the governor was saying that, that there's a border, this thing that they come in from in Oyo State, somewhere in Oyo State. Mm-hmm. Similarly, in Kwara also, there's a border. I don't know how porous it is, maybe, that some of these elements also come into Nigeria from. It's like a free flow, my brother. Both small arms and light weapons and everything is being proliferated. And that must not be allowed to continue. There should be checks, for goodness sake. And I think, on those states, what the governor is asking is that herdsmen should be registered. I don't think it's too much to ask for that. Let them be registered so that they will know the criminal elements amongst them. You don't just start grazing for goodness sake, in Netherlands, they have cattle ranches. Why can't we copy such things in Nigeria? Let's have ranches where these guys can keep their cattle and take care of them and all of that. Cattle rearing is a private business. You don't go destroying people's farms because you have cattle. Netherlands, Australia, my former share, right, in Swindon, she used to rear sheep and all of that, right? And she has a farm where she does that. All over the world, there are global best practices, how people take care of cattle and cows. Why can't we copy such and replicate this in Nigeria? The problem we are having in Nigeria is preventable. It's man-made. It's not even spiritual, with all due respect. It's man-made. It's man-made. This thing can be nipped in the bud. We need to stop this. We need to stop postponing the evil day. Please. Thank you.
Okay, before you go, let me ask you one more question, and then I'll go to Prof. Okay. The fact is that, we've been talking about these herdsmen, and we're talking about arms herdsmen, and we're not even colorating it. But, all these Metis group that come up and more or less speak for the different group, but I've not heard of them saying, oh, we've trained our people on conflict management, we've trained our people on human rights issues, we've trained our people on, what to do when there's a conflict without resorting to, weaponry or using attack, and people carrying weapons and all those things. So what is your, Prof, what is your view on that before I bring Mr. Don back? What is your view on that? Do you think the use of maybe human rights, providing human rights training will be a good way to try and address this conflict?
Thank you once again.
And before you answer, let me just say, if you are watching us right now, please drop a message. Let us know you are watching us. Tell us where you are watching us from. But people here are ready to listen to you and to answer your questions. So go ahead, Prof.
I would like to expatiate on the point made by Mr. Comrade Don. Basically, yes, I fully agree with what he said. His proposition to the government and to every able Nigerian. Basically, this problem is completely artificial problem. I don't believe it's a problem that we need to go to a different planet to look for solutions. It's true. This day and age, ranching could be alternative to mitigate the crisis we're having today as per the, cattle rearing and the rest of it. It's even more productive if they could have a cattle ranching and the rest of it. So now moving on the very new, on the very question you ask, yes, I believe be it Métis Allah or any other umbrella body that the Katuria or the others belong, they need a true sanitization and orientation at grassroots level to talk of human rights, education, what to do, what not to do, even carrying arms, who train who license those arms they are carrying. These are the things that need to be, regulated. I heard, I guess it's the governor of Taraba State or so, say now it's about time every Nigeria should have arms in their hands. When the biggest democracy in the world, America, is trying to stop the proliferation of arms by individual, and we turn this into just a state or local politics. It's very unfortunate that this could be coming from a sitting governor that have everything in terms of security, that should know better. But promoting this kind of a trend, I don't believe is to anyone's good. Yeah, I guess there's a way we can address these issues, but it's not by adding more, flaming the embers of war and chaos in the land. That's my opinion. That's my stance.
That is beautiful. We are more or less 19 minutes away. Let me ask Mr. Don, give me your view. You had the Taraba state governor saying that they should allow Nigerians to have weapons, access to weapons. Is that something that is a reality that can happen, or is that something that you will also, you think will help in the reduction of crime, from your perspective?
Well, that statement, considering what is going on in Nigeria, I don't think that statement should be thrown out completely. By the way, there is proliferation of arms already. There are so many weapons and all that in Nigeria. So if they make it a bit more legal and people go through trainings, adequate training, and then they are licensed to bear arms, I don't think it will be much of an issue. Because even without the license and everything, even without the authorization, there is the ones that some criminal elements are brandishing every time, the AK-47 and all of that they are brandishing. Where do they get them from? Right? There are some of us that have the training, we have the discipline, to handle weapons and all of that. We also need to protect ourselves. So it is not out of place if someone says, okay, people should be allowed. It's not going to be a free for all. Everybody will just, no. There will be checks and balances, definitely. That's my position on that.
Again, you raised a very important issue, and I'd like to take you on before I go back to Prof. Now, one of the things they've done in Kenya is come up with a bill, and that bill is more or less saying that private security companies and people like yourself who have actually been trained should be given the opportunity to actually carry weapons. And that might actually be a way in which, when the president needs rapid response for security issues like what is happening now, your company, and other people that have this skill set can actually go in and add value, to the government's war on terrorism and reducing violence. So what do you think? Do you support that kind of idea from Kenya, where they are actually looking at private security companies carrying weapons?
Temitope, I don't think it's out of place. Even in the US and some countries, private security companies, I think in South Africa as well, I can't remember any other country right now, where private security companies are vetted, screened, and some of their operatives are allowed to bear arms. We have all the what was it called again? That they carry arms. They are private security companies, Academy of this world and Blackwater and all of that. So it is not out of place to recommend such in Nigeria. By the way, we have thousands of private security operatives scattered all over Nigeria, right? So if they can be harnessed, like I said, definitely there has to be checks and balances. If they can be harnessed, we also have a lot of, I know many of them, we have a lot of retired military personnel in private security companies. If they come up with a policy and say, okay, these guys are going to be vetted, and all of that, and probably retrained before they're allowed to bear arms. And I mean, so be it. So be it. I've handled weapons before. I'm not going to be carried away if I see AK-47 tomorrow. You know, it doesn't mean much to me. But a typical civilian that has not handled weapons before, if he sees AK-47 or any other weapon or GPMG or whatever, he will be excited. You know, some of them, that's what leads to all these accidental discharge and all of that. But if somebody that has handled weapon before, you won't even, nobody will, around you will even know you have a weapon or something. And if you're coming for me and you know that I'm armed, you'll be careful. If you're coming to me maybe with a pistol and you know I have a general purpose machine gun, you will not make an attempt. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I think it's common. I think it's commonsensical, you know. Yes. So it is not out of place to maybe have.
Yes, I mean,
I know, Prof. I know you are against weaponizing the whole of Nigeria, but what about private security companies who are trained, who most of them are ex-security officers, just like Mr. Don said, that might really help Nigeria in fighting the war on terror. Do you think that that might be a positive way forward, that we should look at actually bringing in a private bill for security companies to carry weapons?
Yes, indeed, that can complement the paramilitary, be it that of the police and other security apparatus, border agencies like immigration, customs, and other security apparatus. And the where I'm a bit concerned is when individuals having ammunition, firearms, be it gun or semi-automatic and the rest of it. I mean, imagine, as I reference US, despite the fact the sophistication in advancement in everything, they're still having issues with these individual carrying arms and so on and so forth. Who is doing the background check? Who is checking the mental balance of the person that's going to carry ammunition? I haven't said this, even despite the fact that we haven't had this into law. We're having serious armed proliferation in Nigeria. So it needs to be what maybe the way forward is we need to regulate it, but again, I don't believe we are matured enough to ply that route for now. That might be something in the pipeline, but right now, firstly, let's try to put things in place, draw a security architecture whereby can incorporate individuals carrying arms to start the private company. I see no reason why, like Mr. Don, reference, like a Blackwater, which complement the main American army, and then others with G4S, which we have in UK, and more or less they cover almost maybe 100 plus countries around the world. So why not? But again, these are to be regulated. Right now, we're having a very porous border. We need to fortify our border, our frontier. We know look at the common national ID card. I don't believe that has been, some still haven't even been accounted for. When was the last time we had censor? We don't know who is who. So before giving this kind of, license to individual, that of private security company, I have no qualms with that. But with the moment every individual has to carry arms, I do understand the sentiment of Mr. Don that, look, he is an ex-military man, he's trained, but what about Mr. John, the next door? It's just, okay, I can have it, I have the means of having it, that means the financial muscle of having the arms. Okay, maybe the mental stage of the person, of Mr. Don, can't really capable of only arms. It might just be common domestic argument. The next thing is trigger happy. It's happening where we say the most advanced country in the world. How much more? Here we are in UK. Private companies not carrying arms. Even the common police, only we see them with ammunition. Does that mean some individuals still not having arms? They do, of course. So, but at the same time, to keep everyone safe, we still need, it's only when we don't believe in our security apparatus, military or paramilitary, it is then we have to. And again, one thing I do love to say in every forum, all these people we are saying they are not good enough, they are from this very same community, Nigeria. It's a comment on me and you and all of us to make it work. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Dan, let me come to you as we round up. We had a sad story of a Prince Dennis Abuda, if I'm right, from Benin, who was on his way back to the US, and he got kidnapped. They asked for a ransom of 10 million, and they said, I think he more or less slumped on his way into the thick forest where they were taking him, and they decided to just kill him. Police have said that there've been some arrests. What is your view on this insecurity that is happening even interland? Because we're not talking of at the border now. We're talking of inside Nigeria. It's now inside. Ibadan Express Road not free. Okere Road not free. Benin Road, even the east not free. What is your view on this? And if you are going to advise anybody, what will be your advice to them?
Well, Temi, I tell you something. I mean, it's very depressing. It's very depressing. Some of us here, it takes the grace of God, and it takes some kind of orientation to survive the insecurity that is plaguing the nooks and cranny of this country. I read about the story you mentioned, about the man. I think he was based in Atlanta. He was coming back to Lagos to catch a flight to the US, and he was kidnapped somewhere around Benin. Unfortunately, he died. I mean, he was killed, even after the family paid 10 million naira ransom or so. It's quite unfortunate. And that is just not a one-off. I mean, there are several cases like that. I mean, it's like a daily thing. But that's notwithstanding, we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be too fearful. Feeling, I hear some people say, oh, they will not. I mean, some of our brothers that are based abroad, they say they will not come back to Nigeria and all of that, just because of what is going on. But if you notice also, some of these things are localized. Like in Lagos, throughout this year, I track crime, I track kidnapping, and all of that. I think so far in the last 1 year in Lagos, we've not witnessed much kidnapping incidents. I think maybe probably less than 10 or thereabout, So some of these things are localized. Like traveling by road is key. For somebody like him, if he had traveled by flight, maybe from Benin Airport to Lagos Airport, I'm not sure that would have happened. Maybe it's destiny or something. But I think if he had boarded a flight in Benin and landed in Lagos before taking his connecting flight to the US, I'm sure that wouldn't have happened. It's just like somebody traveling from Abuja to Kaduna. The Kaduna-Abuja highway is one of the most dangerous roads in Nigeria, if not in the world. So I will advise, if you want to travel internally or locally in Nigeria, you have to do some kind of risk assessment. Even if it means monitoring social media or the internet to know how risky that route or the security situation in that route. That is my advice to people out there. Are there kidnappings? Yes. But also, I'm not sure every Nigerian has been kidnapped. And I don't think they will kidnap all of us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, Prof, let me bring you in as we round up. You had the sad news, but there's also another interesting news, and which is the fact that Nema, I think it's called Nema, the pension man, his son, according to EFCC, has disappeared to America. Mena.
Yes.
They said his son has disappeared to America. So I asked myself, in a period of COVID-19, how did he even pass through? How did he do his test to even get visa and on the Nigerian passport that for a guy that is a ward of the court that is under court bail? How did he manage to escape to America according to EFCC? And immigration are there checking people at the border to let them go. Do you smell rats there, or is it just another example of Nigeria insecurity? that means that people can go in and come in as they want.
Thank you. Though I'm not privy to this very new twist to someone that been wanted or so, and he end up being in border flight. Which airport, I don't know. As I'm not privy to that very news. I haven't said this. Might have gone through the other, across the border, maybe by road or even by foot, on foot, or even at the back of the donkey to the other country and then take flight from there. And again, it's not a joking matter. Again, we need to say, if we have done the fundamentals, which is every citizen, we say, oh, Nigeria is because of we are too, population is over 200 million, this and that. I mean, are we as big as Japan? Sorry, as China or India? Every citizen is registered, is in database. Nigeria, we don't have a trackable database. I believe we need to start from the fundamentals. Every citizen in Nigeria, both home and abroad, need to be registered. I guess that should be a starting point. So from having this, then we can be talking of the security. It all starts from that should be the prerequisite in having a robust security. The situation whereby we have a database, a trackable database that can be, you know, if one is missing, they can know where to track the person or where to trace the person. So that's my response, or that's my take on that very issue of the person that escaped and they found him or he managed his way to Atlanta, Georgia.
If I may add, please,
Okay.
if you don't mind me adding,
yes, I wanted to, yeah.
If you don't mind me adding, I think it's very embarrassing to say the least, right? I remember a time they said a ship disappeared, you know, a ship that was in the custody of our Navy, and all of a sudden the vessel just, you know, disappeared. I mean, it's embarrassing that in this 21st century, that young man must have passed through our borders, isn't it? That is what we are talking about. Yes. It shows how porous our borders are, that somebody can just breeze in and breeze out and travel all the way, not just to Ghana, but to the United States. Right. I mean, it's very embarrassing to say the least, please.
And I think it points again to the issue that Mr. Femi on Facebook, Femi TDS said that this might be an insider intelligence-based kidnapping issue, insider access to travel abroad. Insider seems to be what is affecting our security. What do you have to say to that? In 1 minute, Mr. Donovan.
Is that for me?
Mr. What do you have to say? Yes, just I said
definitely.
Issue seems to be a very serious issue.
Definitely, in every organization, in every country, you can't rule out insider threats. You know, it is an entrenched. It is quite entrenched. It is possible, like I said earlier, that would have been prevented if the man took a flight from Benin to Lagos. You know, but as fate will have it, you know, he couldn't escape it. It's possible. That is even why we don't have to reveal our travel itinerary to anybody whatsoever. Maybe probably apart from our spouse or something, but we shouldn't try, especially for people coming down from abroad to Nigeria. You don't reveal to people when you're coming or when you're going, because there's that tendency, if they know, they believe you guys are money. They believe, you know, when you change pounds to Naira, you know, Naira will, when you change 1,000 pounds to Naira, there will be so much money. So they believe people coming from abroad have so much money. So there's that tendency for them to also give out information to criminals out there. I mean, that is a fact.
Okay,
so as much as possible, desist from posting
Alaji, information. Exactly. I agree with you. Let me bring in Alaji Lawa, who is joining us now. And I know he's been busy, he's on the road as well. And let me just ask you in 3 minutes, sir. Give us a view about the decision of the president to extend the Inspector General of Police tenure by another 3 months, and nomination of 2 of the ex-service chiefs who are meant to be in retirement within 2 weeks have been drawn out to become ambassadors. Give us your view in 3 minutes, sir. Go ahead, Prof. Alaji.
My view is the reason why Buhari did that is best known to him. Yeah, the reason why the president took that action, the reason is best known to him. That is my my view, my personal view. Then before he could extended the 3 months of this Alhaji Adamu IG, I'm sure the Nigerian police may know about that and the reason why they extended that, which is best known to them, because there are some internal information which sometimes may be private and confidential to the public. So that is my opinion on that. Based on the retired General Buratai, which Buhari proposed to nominate him for new appointment. This is where the Nigerians, they have reacted on that, because there are some issues and questions unanswered regarding to how he played his role due to the security challenges in the country. I'm sure that is why people reacted that Buhari shouldn't do that, to reappoint him for new appointments, because there are some issues among the military regarding to the embezzlement of the fund available for to tackle the security challenges in the country. So that is my own personal opinion due to the information available to me. So on that issue.
Thank you so much. Prof, let me bring you in quickly and give me your view about the inside information aspect. Just like Mr. Don highlighted that it seems to be a big problem in Nigeria. Inside information, and is advising that if you are coming as a diaspora, try and ensure that you don't let everybody know. It's strange that he said that, because when I sleep in hotels, I change my hotel room every other second day and things like that. So give me your views on that, and then we close for the day.
That's a vital advice to each and every one of us in diaspora. Even to our family members, they don't need to know. I used to be quite naive and gullible in terms of, oh, why shouldn't people know about my coming in? And I have nothing to hide. I didn't hurt anybody. I don't, it would be very foolish of anyone today to leave intel about your itinerary, even from your locality. You need to be a bit discreet about your movement. It's the harsh reality of the time we are living. Not only peculiar to Nigeria, nearly everywhere you look today, there's an issue around the world: kidnapping, banditry, and whatnot in Nigeria of today. So yes, I believe we all have to be security cautious, our movement, because due to economic hardship, this has made people to turn to the life of crime. So as a result, I mean, we're all vulnerable, most especially we in diaspora, because they believe you are just plucking those hard currency from the tree, so you're just collecting it from the street, which is not is far from the reality of where we are living. So we all have to be careful, and when security is not incumbent on just the security apparatus, it's incumbent on all of us. We need to really, really be cautious. We are living at that time. It's a very difficult time. When you go out in the morning, there's nothing guarantee you can come back in the evening. And I must say, though, I'm a bit shy in using comparison Nigeria to any other part of the world. I would like to say it's not just peculiar to Nigeria. Due to this COVID pandemic, it has drew lots of people to life of crime because the standard of living has dwindled somehow. Even look at here we are in United Kingdom. I mean, imagine a breadwinner, although they say, oh, there's a cushion, government has given the cushion, how much balance it is. If I should digress a little bit, although our main focus is in Nigeria, I was talking to a fellow colleague, we're analyzing. He said, oh, when did you think this pandemic or this lockdown will end? I said, sorry, all I can tell you is this. One thing I know, in this part of the world, be it Irishman or Englishman or Scottishman or man from the West for that matter, it's not sustainable. You can't keep people indoor indefinitely. You are giving them palliative or whatever you might be giving, follow or whatever you might be giving them. Yeah, football is a religion and the synagogue of football is stadium. People want to go to stadium and watch the football. And so as well, pub is where the decision is truly made in this part of the world. We like it or we're just going to lump it. So as a matter of fact, there's no nation in this under the sky that's not going through some toothache as we speak. So it's not only peculiar to Nigeria, but now for the fact that Nigeria is of concern to us tonight, we need to look for a holistic approach into Nigeria's problem. I believe, Nigeria going through a phase, is a stage in our life, in the history of Nigeria. We're going to overcome it and we're going to come out victoriously. We don't have any other place we can call Nigeria. That's Nigeria. So that's my take on that matter.
Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who has liked, shared, and tell friends about this program. Let me use this opportunity to tell you that this program comes up every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday evening from 8 p.m. Today, we had to bring the time down by 1 hour in order to be able to make sure that we'll get our brother on board. So thank you, Mr. Don. Thank you, Prof. Thank you, Dr. Adwa. Thank you so much. And thank everyone for tuning in. Those that are tuning in from New York, from London, from Nigeria, we thank you all. We'll wait again to see you on Saturday at 3 p.m. when we'll be having a Yoruba session in security, and that is just wild. So our team there Saturday evening also, and tomorrow we have a special program at 4 p.m. where we're looking at life of Nigerians in Middle East, and that is a serious one. So I look forward to seeing you again, and until then, God bless you. Have a lovely evening to all my guests. God bless you, all of you.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.